So, looking forward to speak to you. You will hear my female side today, thanks to wonderful Maura. So I hope you notice her. Thank you very much. Maura, that's for you. Uh, First of all, thank you very much for the whole team to invite me. Fantastic speakers over the day. My name is Gregor Litzke. I'm in Ocado around 3 years now. I'm leading the European business. Before 11 years in Amazon, before 13 years in Metro, where I met Andrea Colombo, my nice colleague from longer than we dare to admit. Is that okay for you guys to follow? Yes? Is that okay? Good. Wonderful. Good. Yeah, I'm here speaking to give a little bit an outside-in view from UK and an international perspective. First of all, hands up, who does not know Ocado? Not know. I didn't know Ocado before I signed the contract, so don't be shy. Yeah. If you lived in UK, you would know Ocado. In UK, everyone knows Ocado because since 25 years, Ocado brings the food to home. We're the only food pure player who is in the business for 25 years since the new internet bubble busted, actually. It's the only one who stayed independent. But we internationalized our business 5-6 years ago. But if you're shopping in France with Monoprix, or in Spain with Alcampo, or in Poland with Auchan, you're shopping powered by Ocado. Because behind it is our technology, our automation, our e-commerce. So let's have a little bit of a look to Italy. Italy, I'm German. I'm not supposed to speak about food in Italy. But I must say I'm a little bit disappointed. Because if you're looking here, these are the partners, and you heard it before. Italy is not really on the online grocery map in Europe. Together with Germany, Italy has probably the lowest food penetration in European markets. And interesting, though, is you might say Italian customers are special, which they are. But so I hear from the Spanish retailer that the Spanish customer is special, and the French, and the German, and the British. So that's actually not an excuse. One of the reasons, and we heard some interesting numbers before, Marco from YouGov today said 46% of customers have already tried online grocery, but just 3% of the sales is going through online grocery. So your customer wants it. It's not a problem that there is not demand. It's a problem that there is not supply. The offer in Italy is still underdeveloped for the demand you're having. And we heard before from the colleagues who said there is missing investment in a certain way. That's true. And I'll speak a little bit about it, what happened to other countries in that regard. There are 3 reasons. Number one, all the selection, other than, for example, from Cortiglia, is supplied from a store network. If it's supplied from a store network, you only get the selection from a store. You are getting worse freshness because it's an extra step under the store. And the retailer's P&L looks horrible because it's an extra cost next to the store. So normally this business is unprofitable, not very delightful for the customer, and therefore customers don't use it as much. It's not because they don't want and need it. Now, there is another paradox or
C'è un
myth
altro paradosso, un altro mito.
in markets like Italy,
In
where,
Italia, come
and
l'Italia,
I'm speaking to
e ovviamente
Italians,
io parlo
what
agli
is
occhi
important when you
italiani, qual
shop
è importante
grocery?
quando voi acquistate generi alimentari?
Freshness.
La freschezza.
And have you seen Mario's number?
Avete visto i numeri di
Where is
Mario?
the lowest trust in online buys?
Dov'è
Two
l'usa
categories,
diciamo più bassa negli eventi
fruit
online?
and
Dov'è che
vegetable,
intanto frutta e verdura
fresh fish, fish meat.
e anche il pesce e la
Yeah?
carne freschi.
But this is actually a myth,
Però anche questo è un mito,
because
è un mito.
when you start thinking
Perché
about your
se
supply
cominciate
chain
a
for
pensare alla
online
vostra supply
as a
chain, gli
dedicated
acquisti
supply
online,
chain for
come supply
customers
chain di un
and not
intero
just an
set di
add-on to your
clienti e non come
store,
a un'aggiunta a quello
what
che
you
sono
can
le vendite della
do,
vostra
you
negozio,
can
quello
do
che potete
this.
fare è
You
questo.
can shorten
Questo
the
si
supply
può
chain,
accorciare la
and
filiera
with a shorter supply
e con
chain,
una
you have
filiera più
less waste,
corta abbiamo meno
more
sprechi,
freshness,
più freschezza
and especially
e soprattutto
more shelf life in the fridge of
una
your
durata
customers.
di conservazione nei frigoriferi dei clienti che è più lunga.
And to give you some statistics,
Vi fornisco dei dati statistici.
in when we are supplying with a central supply model,
Quando
an
abbiamo un modello
automated
di
CFC,
fornitura
we
centralizzato,
can add 3 days
possiamo
of shelf life
aggiungere 3
in the
giorni di
fridge
durata di
of the
conservazione
customers.
nei frigoriferi dei nostri
In
clienti.
UK, for example,
In Regno Unito, per
Ocado
esempio, Ocado
promises a 4-day meat
propone
shelf life when it
addirittura una
arrives
conservazione per la carne di
at
4
home.
giorni
Now go
a
to a
casa.
supermarket,
Adesso andate, provate ad
pick a
andare nel
random piece of
supermercato,
meat,
prendete
and
un
look for
pezzetto di
4 days
carne
shelf life.
e guardate se vi è
That's
arrivato
a
diciamo
challenge already in a
conservazione di
supermarket.
4
They
giorni. È
can
veramente davvero una
offer online
sfida.
more
E
freshness
invece
than you
con
can do in a
l'online
supermarket
si può
because they
offrire
shorten
molto di
the
più.
supply chain.
E perché questo? Perché si accorcia la filiera.
Another KPI which is
Un altro
important
KPI che è
for
importante
our retailers,
per i nostri dettaglianti
in UK we're
nel Regno Unito è
operating
questo.
online grocery with
Gestiamo retail
44,000
online con
SKUs. You will
44.000
see here
categorie
online in Italy between
e in
10 and
Italia siamo
15,000. And
compresi
there you
i
correct me immediately
15.000
when I'm
e
wrong.
magari qualcuno per esempio mi può
Am I
correggere.
wrong?
Diciamo
I'm
che non
not wrong.
sbaglio,
Good.
no, non mi sbaglio.
Um,
Il numero più o meno è questo.
they are operating it with
E questi
0.5% food
vengono
waste.
gestiti con uno scarto alimentare
Andrea, in my
inferiore
old
del
Metro times,
5%.
we were happy when it was 3,
Magari mi dice
two,
all'appuntamento
two and a
siamo
half,
contenti quando
but
eravamo, non so, un 3, un 2,5?
this is a magic number for any
Questa
grocery
cifra è
retailer
un
in fresh
numero
food.
magico per qualunque dettagliante operi con i generi alimentari.
Now, I would love to
Ora,
give you the excuse that this is
vorrei
only
darvi una
working in
scusa,
UK
vorrei
or the
darvi una scusa che questo
US
funziona
or
solamente in UK,
Australia, who have that
Australia,
poor food culture.
quindi paesi che non hanno magari tutta questa cultura del cibo.
Apologies to any US and
Ovviamente
British people in the
faccio le
room,
mie scuse a qualunque americano o britannico che sia seduto qui fra noi.
but it works also in Spain,
Ma in realtà funziona
and it
anche in
also works
Spagna
in
e
France,
funziona anche in
and it
Francia
works in
e
Catalonia,
funziona in
which are
Catalogna.
all very peculiar about their fruit and
Che
freshness.
diciamo, sto parlando di
Yeah?
luoghi che sono molto peculiari, che hanno delle esigenze molto peculiari per quello che riguarda il cibo.
So,
Quindi,
how to do that? There are
come possiamo
various
farlo?
versions of
Ci
it.
sono varie versioni.
Mostly where retailers start
Essenzialmente i dettaglianti
is here,
partono da qui,
and this is
da
fully
questo
okay.
livello, che va
Tesco,
bene.
Sainsbury in
Tesco,
UK
Sainsbury nel Regno
started
Unito
via
hanno
store
iniziato
fulfillment, are still
tutti
mainly in store
iniziato
fulfillment,
con
and have
l'info
3 and
fulfillment,
6
operazioni
billion
di
revenue
fulfillment
online.
online ed hanno fatto diciamo
So
molti
this is
entrate, 3,
this
miliardi
is possible,
e quindi direi che
but it
è
has a
davvero
lot of
fattibile,
challenges
però pone anche diverse
because your
sfide
experience in your store and
perché
your experience in online when you
perché
serve both
lo
from
si
one
vede
store
per esempio sia all'interno
are
del
not
negozio che
super.
online che a volte diciamo, non
Your
fanno la
store
distinzione
customer will
tra il
suffer
cliente del
and your
negozio
online
offline e
customer will
anche
suffer.
il cliente online.
And especially you're limited to the
E
selection in the store,
soprattutto siamo limitati a
which are
quella che è la selezione
10,000
del
SKUs.
negozio, quindi se abbiamo 10.000
And
SKU
I don't know your shopping behavior, but my shopping behavior, you can serve 80% of what you want with 10,000 SKUs.
con 10.000
but do your family recipes, you want 100% of what you need. And if you then buy online, and you still need to buy offline in the second store and the third store because they don't have your meat or your wine or whatever is peculiar for your family, then the value of online shopping for me as a family is reduced because I still need to complement it with offline shopping. So selection is key.
delle cose che non la trovo online. Quindi la selezione è
So how you can evolve that is actually
questo.
going to a dedicated supply chain, not still manual.
Dedicata,
And you can massively extend
ma che comunque può essere anche
your selection and the accuracy with which you are delivering to your customers.
a fornire i generi alimentari ai nostri clienti.
But I'm not trying to be, how to say, to sell a fantasy here.
Non sto cercando di vendervi, diciamo,
Italy is not a low labor cost country.
non è un paese dove il costo del lavoro è
It's the
basso.
same level as France, it's the same level as Spain,
Francia, la Spagna,
Germany a little bit higher,
Germania forse
UK depends.
Nel Regno Unito dipende.
If you want to develop an online grocery business
Sviluppare un business di vendita
profitably,
online che sia redditizio,
there is no other way than automation at a certain stage in your life cycle.
dell'automazione. Questo
No other
a
way.
un certo punto della filiera, a un certo modello, a un certo
N-
momento della filiera.
Now, for sure, you can decide to serve a very high value, upper 10,000, nice margin specialty business. That works. But if you want to supply a society, if you want to supply in volumes through all income levels,
A tutte le fasce di reddito
this is not possible online when you just add additional costs after your store. It's not possible. Made all the math in all the countries, not possible. Okay, so somewhere on the way, Italy is here mostly. Somewhere on the way, you do need to start investing in automation, which meanwhile, by the way, can be also automation in stores. In large stores, on the back of stores, you can build meanwhile automation.
backup, per così dire, all'interno dei quali si può portare l'automazione.
But more important is actually
Importante
the brain which connects all of that.
è, diciamo, il cervello che mette assieme, che collega tutti questi
The reason why we are
il motivo
able to reduce the food waste so much, to manage shelf life accordingly,
gestire la durata di
to address each customers with their buys they're used to make it simple. It's not hardware, it's all software and AI.
è appunto software.
So in the heart of all of that, to have a sufficient online grocery supply chain is AI, and it will be more.
C'è l'intelligenza
And we talked a lot of ChatGPT and all the other agentrics. We heard it before. You listened to the presentations. But actually, that's just the front end. The quality
la qualità,
at home
la qualità
is not decided if you're shipping on an app or with ChatGPT. That is decided if you know your customer, you have your best possible selection, if you can manage freshness,
si riesce a gestire
and you can manage your cost in the supply chain that it's not overpriced when it comes at home.
una filiera che non ha
That will decide if you win.
quando il genere alimentare arriva a
The question how agentic AI is doing with the customer is an important one,
quanto sia, diciamo,
but not the long-term decisive one if you please your customers or not.
ma non è l'intelligenza artificiale che ci farà raggiungere il nostro cliente finale.
And give you a concrete example,
Vi do un esempio tangibile.
Ocado's very first partner in 2018
Nel 2018
was a company called Bompreo.
la Compreo.
Who knows Bompreo? Anyone?
Compreo, qualcuno la conosce?
Spanish people under us? You know? Yeah. Fantastic supermarket in Barcelona area,
Eccezionale nella zona di Barcellona,
100% family owned,
completamente familiare.
2.2 billion euro revenue, which is not big for a grocer, you know that.
Miliardi di euro, quindi
but sounds very similar
un'azienda del genere,
than Italian grocery
però
landscape.
sicuramente è
Yeah.
un supermercato appunto molto
Um,
visionario da questo punto di
Wonderful
vista.
store format. Sorry, my old metro offline heart is beating. When you go to a Bompreo store, when you are in the area, I recommend you to visit these
Se volesse
stores.
ritrovare nella zona
Beautiful,
metropolitana, mi raccomando di
well-managed
visitare questi
supermarkets of
supermercati
3 to 5,000 square meter.
eccezionalmente
And they
gestiti.
came to us in 2018 and
E ci
saying,
sono rivolti a noi nel
we have a
2018
little online
dicendo
business of 10
abbiamo un
million
piccolo business online,
and we don't know how to do it. We're realizing it is complex. We want to
ci
work with
rendiamo
you.
conto del fatto che è molto complesso, ma
And they didn't do any big investment. They just used our software.
semplicemente hanno utilizzato il
And
nostro
the journey
software.
we did together with them, we
Con
first
loro
started with our e-commerce software and optimizing their store picking. With the right store picking software, you can improve your efficiency in store about doubling it, so by 100%. Yeah? Because a lot of the store picking is developed from stores, and this store picking software is developed for online business, which is optimized for multi-orders, etc. So they grew, their quality improved, their cost reduced in the stores. So the next they started with the same platform to add click and collect. So I offered click and collect in a lot of stores. But then the volumes grew and grew and grew because customer loved it. And then they started to build the first dark store. And then it grew to the maximum, and then a second dark store. Still no automation. Still no hardware automation. It's just software and some buildings so far and knowing how to do it. And last year, you might have heard in the press, they are now signed with Ocado a fully automated customer fulfillment centers, which I show you in a second how that looks, which we will open soon. I'm not allowed to say when. Yeah? But that will transform their business in no time to around 25 to 30 to 35,000 SKUs of selection, fresher than anyone in the Spanish market in the area other than Alcampo in Madrid, which do the same. They are distributing around Barcelona and will reduce the cost to the level that online grocery for them is profitable and soon as profitable as stores. That's what you can do. That's a story which you can do and how you can develop your business along that. So these are all the partners of Ocado. So we made every mistake, every you can imagine. We're 25 years in the business, and if there is a mistake you can do, we did it. Okay? And we keep on doing mistakes because we are learning how Koreans shop and Japanese and Canadians and how in Saudi Arabia is being shopped. And all of that is on one software. So the moment where we invent something here, all the other partners can use that innovation at the next day. Okay? So we did the mistake, so you don't have to. So if you're interested in developing your online grocery business, we're very happy to help. And to give you a sneak preview, this is an older version, but this is how it at the very end of that journey looks like in a fully automated fulfillment center. To give you some economic stats, in Madrid, for example, or in UK in our fulfillment centers, we are reaching already a 50% automated picking share. What does that mean? If you are a fresh grocer for vegetable and you are distributing in these green IFCO bags, they come in inbound, they automatically get pulled into this automation, being somewhere down there in these grids. The robots pick it, the arms put it into your shopping bag. They know that the eggs need to be on top. They know how to they know what to drop or not. And then it goes out and it arrives in your kitchen, and no one within 24 to 36 hours after it left the supplier, and no human being has touched your tomato between the field and your refrigerator. And then we're talking fresh food.
E allora lì davvero parliamo di cibo fresco.
Thank you very much.